let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days. Don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Happy Monday evening, everybody. And we get ready to go super speedway racing with the American Sim Racing Tour right here on Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Happy Monday. We're going to go to Talladega and see some laps get turned at an incredible super speedway track where the last time we were here with this group, we went flag to flag, no cautions, and it turned out to be an exciting strategy race at the very end. How's tonight going to turn out? Well, we're going to find out. A couple drivers having to start in the pits tonight due to some penalties, but one driver not having to start in the pits is that driver of the 27. Sean Stevens, Carl Lingle, your front row. Will Weber, Grayson Pate, and Chase Greer, your top five. Ethan Horst, Eddie Morris, Tyler Hurt, Dalton Gibson, and Brianna Laurent, your top 10. Looks like we've got 22 drivers here tonight getting ready to put on a show for you all right here on Turn 1. We got some playoff stories to tell, and we'll do that as we get through the broadcast here. But first, the pace truck is going to head down pit road. And this 2.7 mile, 33 degrees of banking, famed Talladega is guaranteed to put on a great race here tonight. Down into the tri-oval, to the restart, and the green flag is out. Sean Stevens gets them rolling. Two by two, they roll through 1 and 2. That inside line, only about 4 cars worth of power there. Well, they're going to get caught up. Plenty of time here for that inside line to come to fruition. Here in Talladega, we are used to seeing 2, we are used to seeing 3 wide, as we're seeing back there around 10th or so. The black and white machine there in the middle, a couple others up against the wall. 3 wide, here they come on the outside. In the meantime, though, Sean Stevens is going to lead the lap with a huge push from Will Weber. On the inside, wow, it is really congested a little further back here. I believe that's Hunter Smith, Spencer Steele, and a couple others back there that had it 3 wide for a moment. Here in Talladega, 3 wide's pretty easy. You don't see that very much at Daytona. A lot of drivers, I mean, it can be possible, but they don't. It's not very simple. It's not very easy to do. Here in Talladega, you see those white lines on the track. Everybody can just run in their respective lane. They have a great point of reference and plenty of wiggle room. And you will often see 3 wide racing. Oh no, big pile up out of 4. Several cars involved here. It looks like Grayson Pate. Rob Duvidek, did I see him involved? No, he is sliding by the outside. Unfortunately, our outside pole sitter, Carl Lingle, going to be collected in this wreck. And that's going to bring the caution out early. Now, what this will play benefit to is Chris Akers, Joseph Fogg, Daniel Holloway, Ed Smith, and a couple others that started towards the rear of the field. Hadn't even gotten caught up and up to speed all the way just yet. They will get back up, caught up with these lead lap cars. The unfortunate thing about this is it does take about 2 laps for these cars to get up to speed. So just something to keep in mind here tonight as these drivers have to find a way to be there at the very end of these super speedway races. While we're under caution, I think a note to point out is both Will Weber in that 92 car, as well as Eddie Morris and Rob Duvidek, currently sitting 15th. All 3 of those drivers part of the Shooter McGavin team, and all 3 drivers in the top 3 in points right now. Will Weber leading. Is that a solid, good run here the last couple weeks? He's got that 92 car. You often find him deep on the push for a lot of drivers as they're going to come down pit road for the first time. We're going to see quite a bit of this. These drivers will have to come down pit road right around lap 22 or so. They'll need to come down for fuel. And this is in an effort to try to straighten out the stops. It's a 90-lap race, so we'll have to go about 20 laps or so. So this is in an effort to try to kind of stretch it out and even it up from here on out. We'll see if that plays a factor. Weber was fastest off pit road. But out front, Ambrose Debble and Matt Binky did not come down. That's okay. Still plenty of time here and plenty of time for strategy to play its course out here tonight at Talladega. Just 2 more weeks on the schedule for this group here. The American Sim Racing Tour before they take the summer off. I believe they are going to they're going to take off through July. So this will end their season right here. And within the next 2 weeks. We'll have to stay tuned on next schedule and what that looks like. And as soon as I know more, I'll certainly be happy to communicate it with you all. With that being said, it's obviously been a great run with this group. I have a feeling we'll be back, but who knows? And we've got a ton of racing action all over the Turn 1 schedule here as we run through the summer. Summer is actually just heating up right here on Turn 1. We've got tomorrow night, the Downforce Racing Series comes back in their 2nd week. I believe they're at Vegas on Tuesday, so that'll be something to look forward to. And then Thursday night, Ohio Sim Racing comes back for another round of Xfinity action. And then they are getting close to taking a summer siesta as well, summer off. And they will be off actually a full 2-month run. I don't think they come back until the first week of August. And then Sunday night, the Sim 500 ARCA car. I suspect that I believe that season is 16 races, so we'll see them for a little bit now. With that being said, I do want to take the opportunity, if you are a driver or a league admin or somebody is interested in elevating your broadcast to the next, or elevating your league races to the next level, we do have limited availability throughout the summer on those coveted Monday nights, those Mondays and those Thursday evenings. If you want to find out more information, including pricing, talk about sponsorship and more, head on over to Turn One Broadcasting on Facebook, or contact me through Discord. I'd be more than happy to work with you. Availability is a little all over the place, but we could certainly work something out. Feel free to head on over to Turn One on Facebook for more information. The pace truck lights are out. We're going to have a new set of leaders. Ambrose Neville, Matt Beakey, your front row. Sean Stevens, Tyler Hurd, Kobe Caputa, your top 5. Ethan Horst, Hunter Smith, Ed Smith, Dalton Gibson, Spencer Teal, your top 10. Be good to see what happens. We'll see what happens here as they get ready to go back green flag racing at Talladega. Early caution in the books, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. This set of drivers went racing flag to flag, green flag to checkered flag 2 weeks ago here at Talladega, and ran caution free. Boy, that was really exciting too. We saw some characters a lap down that don't normally would find themselves a lap down. We found some folks doing some pushing that really kind of were in a catbird seat. Fuel mileage was a factor, and ultimately it was an exciting race to watch here on Turn 1. Side by side as they get ready to go back green flag racing. It'll take about 2 laps for these cars to get up to speed. If you've not watched any super speedway racing, this is a great group of individuals to learn. We'll talk more about that here as the night goes on, but the pace truck is going to head down pit road. And Ambrose Neville in that 04 car is going to be the control all the way down here through the tri-oval. And you see that blue line right there. That's the restart zone, and the green flag's back out here. Lap number 6. Neville with a strong start. Beakey is going to keep the draft. He's actually going to move down underneath the 04. That inside line's going to have just enough space in it to build some momentum and be pretty up to speed here by the end of this lap. Here comes the outside row. That's Tyler Hurt in that red and white car. We've seen him make some pretty interesting moves here in the early going. And right now, he's making it happen on the outside. He's got some help along the way. I believe that's the 83 of Kirby Caputa there on that outside pink and white car. Side by side. As they roll across the stripe there, Neville's going to lead that lap. And as I mentioned, it takes roughly 2 laps for these cars to get up to speed. They'll be working to the 170, 180 mark as they come down the backstretch here at Dega. 3 wide back there around 15th. A car on the high side. That's Chris Akers out there by himself. He's known to make some magic happen out there. But I don't know if that's just going to be it, or if he's just kind of riding up there trying to ride to the rear. Or maybe doing a little bit of door drafting, side drafting, trying to work his way up front. He's going to pick up a little bit of help. We'll see that come to fruition. Right back down on the bottom. Ambrose Neville. He's got a big push from Matt Beakey here. And then just behind him, Sean Stevens. Beakey's going to move to the high side. That's going to pick up Tyler Hurt. Both those lines have a little bit of a gap. Now these Xfinity machines are up to speed here. Akers is still on the high side, and that third line up there trying to make something happen. Not quite pulled the run just yet. Give him time, though, as that middle line now starting to build momentum. And it was Beakey that was he's gonna ride the bumper of Hurt all the way out to the front. Now he's gonna move down and take the lead away there. from Ambrose Neville on the inside. Here comes Akers. And color me surprised. I believe that's the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Right there with Akers. Those two are like two peas in a pod when it comes together. That's the Candy Shack team making it happen on the outside. 3 wide here for the lead at Talladega on lap number 9. You have to trust that everybody can hold their line. Holloway, Holloway looking a little uneasy there. Gets it collected back up. And now Tyler Hurt's gonna move down to the bottom. Take the lead away there from Matt Binky. That's gonna leave that middle line kind of exposed. Caputo's gonna have to find some help. He's gotta push, but not a whole lot around him. Akers and Holloway on the outsides picked up a third car, but they're starting to lose steam. Across the start-finish line, Tyler Hurt's leading on the bottom here, lap number 10. While we've got the opportunity, let's find a driver to ride on board with. How about we do Ethan Horst? Let's go on board with that driver as he works down the backstretch up to speed at Talladega. Getting a little sporty down the backstretch. Binky had to go to the bottom to avoid a little bit of drama to get out of the way. Now Tyler Hurt leading on the bottom of that inside line. Kirby Caputo's continued to hang on there in the middle, but they're going to dice it up here a little bit. I believe that's, who is that? Is that that's the 04 of Ambrose Neville. Trying to get something happening on the middle row here. He's going to pick up Caputo. In the meantime, on the high side, Akers and Holloway are there. Holloway still looking a little loose at the 21. But those guys are hanging on that outside line. And it's a drag race down the backstretch. 3 wide here. Lap number 13 at Talladega for the American Sim Racing Tour. Right here on turn 1. On that bottom line, Tyler Hurt able to keep control here. That bottom line a little more organized, a little more put together. The middle line has not been able to get much of a run. And this week, or after last week's Daytona race, I'm sure there's quite a bit of, it's a little tight on that third row. It got a little interesting up there, I believe, for Akers. They're going to fall back a little bit, but as we were talking about last Monday night at Daytona, a lot of animosity with a couple drivers here in the field and a lot of team drama across the board. and deep into the playoff run they are. I wouldn't be surprised if there is still some feelings that aren't quite remedied here at Talladega, with some of these drivers maybe making things a little more difficult than others here tonight. Tyler Hurt on the bottom, continuing to maintain, but the 04 of Ambrose Nebel is going to pull that middle line up and through. He needs to get up front and get clear. And I say needs because there's something that has not happened out of that 04 car. He's not been down pit road just yet. So he is going to have to find a way to get into position, ideally not lose track position. But he's going to have to find a way to get up front or get down to the bottom and come down pit road. It's obviously lap 15. He's got a little bit of time to think about it still, but you know, it may take 4 or 5 laps to find a hole, find a position. We'll have to keep a close eye on that and see what Nebel has to do here. He's gonna come down pit road. He's gonna have to come down pit road. You know, relatively early, probably 3 to 4 laps before the rest of the drivers would have to pit. So he is looking for a potential caution here to play in his favor. Otherwise, we may see the 04 have to pit out of sequence and all alone. That third line we've seen running, led by Chris Akers and Daniel Holloway, and a couple others is subbing in a third, has all but disappeared now, or is disappeared. Nobody else out there on that third line trying to make anything happen. Back down to side-by-side, 2x2 as they roll through the tri-oval here. Tyler Hurt continuing to lead over Ambrose Nebel, Sean Stevens, Kirby Caputo, and Ethan Horst. Something to take into consideration as well is Caputo's no stranger to making a 3-wide instance happen, or maybe even trapping the middle. Now, see Caputo there in the 83. He's got the Coles turn to the 04 down the backstretch, glued to the bumper. It doesn't really look like it's going to materialize into much of a run, at least through 3 and 4, as the 83 comes off the line just a little bit. With a huge push here, the 04, he's going to have to push him harder than that to get him down. Now the 04 has got about 2.5 laps or so to really figure out how he's going to get up there and get clear of the leader. Not going to be able to do it that way. He's going to lose a little bit of help. That's going to slow down that outside line. Caputo's all over the place. Hang on to it, 83. They're going to be able to there continue, but that is going to slow that outside line up considerably. Really interesting to see the 27, the 16 partner up so well here on the bottom. We'll pay a close attention to see if that is going to be something that may have to be contended with here for the rest of these fast drivers. As we talked about, we've got some playoff drama to consider. We were talking about the 92 just a little while ago. Well, he has moved all the way back to 13th. He's back there with Guy Braco, Chris Akers, Brianna Laurent, Daniel Holloway, Eddie Morris. They're all back there just hanging out, cruising. And they do that for a specific reason. It's not that they're not fast enough, not that they can't get back to the front. Speaking of, here comes Ambrose again with another run. But in super speedway racing, you've got to pick the front or the back to run. You don't really want to be in the middle. There's more action, more drama happening there. If you're in the front, chances are the action and the drama is going to be behind you. As Tyler Hurt moves up to block Ambrose Nebel. What a power move. That shuts down Nebel from being able to take that inside line. That is going to trap the 04 up there. What can they do? As I was talking about, you're either up front, and we see Nebel now. He's going to move to the high line. There's no way he could get clear of the leader to get to the bottom. He's going to have to let this entire field cycle by him so he can come down pit road, likely all by himself here. He's also going to have to maybe slow up even more to let the tail end of this field by. We'll have to see if what happens here, if Neville's going to get slow enough to get down pit road. But you either want to be in the front where all the drama's behind you, or you want to be in the back, well out of the way of all the craziness, and hoping that things, you have enough time and enough space to check up. Ed Smith's going to come down pit road. Ambrose Neville did not make it. That car most likely going to be on fumes here on lap 21 as he works his way back all the way around. Now that outside line that once was, pretty strong, a 10-car group, now just 3 with the 83 leading that outside group. Keep in mind, the rest of this field doesn't technically have to come down pit road for another 3 laps or so. They all took those early pit stops due to that caution. And it looks like, there it is, Ambrose Neville's going to come down pit road. He's going to bring Matt Binky with him, so you will have a little bit of help. These drivers just off sequence by about 2 laps. We will see the rest of this field come down in the next 3 laps. And that is another consideration, the 83. And who is that outside there with him? Hunter Smith is going to have to figure out as well what happens to that second line. You have to assume everybody underneath you is going to come. If you don't, or if you misjudge that or miss that call, and maybe somebody doesn't, it could be catastrophe at the pit road entrance. And there you have it. Most of that inside line is going to peel off. Well, a good portion of it anyway, led by Tyler Hurt. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there. That was Chris Akers and Daniel Holloway coming down. Akers deep into the bumper of the car in front of him. That looked pretty tight. In the meantime, Kavuta out front, Ethan Horst running P2. That's Grayson Pate, Dalton Gibson. Joseph Fogg, Carl Lingle, Ed Smith, Will Weber, Guy Braco, Eddie Morris, all still out on track. We'll see them come through next time by. And there you have it. Down pit road they come. Coming in hot. Oh, big lockups out of a couple of those drivers. Hopefully everybody got slowed down in time. In the meantime, Will Weber is leading Guy Braco, Eddie Morris, Chase Greer, Rob Dubedak out on track for another round here. Worth noting, Daniel Holloway right now is leading the main group that came, or the first group that came down. He's got Tyler Hurt with him, but then a bit of a gap to Sean Stevens. He'll get caught up. But then Chris Akers, unfortunately, all by his lonesome there. I don't know if he's going to catch the draft or not. We saw him, like I mentioned, maybe get slowed up pretty hard coming on the pit road. Akers has got his foot buried in it, trying to catch Sean Stevens in front of him. In the meantime, this group back here, this 5-car group that have not pit yet under green flag, pit stops, led by the 92 of Weber. Our points leader so far here tonight is cruising. Continuing to run another lap here, lap 25. Looks like these drivers came down and topped off on lap number 4, so this does make sense. I expect to either see them next time by or the time after. Let's go back and look through the chaos. Looks like Grayson Pate is leading the charge of this second team with the 7, the 83, the 15, and the 37 trying to hang on there. Then it's Carl Lingle, Daniel Holloway, and it looks like Akers was able to tag along with Sean Stevens. They're going to pick up 2 more even. That looks like Spencer Teal and Hunter Smith. It is. In the meantime, we see Will Weber down pit road. And that group of 5, this is going to complete green flag stops all the way across the board. we will see Grayson Pate cycle out your leader here tonight. Lap number 26. Now, with that being said, we will see this set of drivers come down pit road right around lap number 45. And currently, it's this 5-car pack. And then 4 seconds back is Daniel Holloway. And he's got the fast guys I would consider right now. That's Tyler Hurt, Sean Stevens, Chris Akers. They picked up Carl Lingles there with them now. Spencer Till, Hunter Smith. So a pretty big pack of cars here. All being led by Daniel Holloway. And they've got to make a pretty strong run here to get caught back up. By the way, Will Weaver, Eddie Morris, Rob Dubadek, well, they didn't quite merge into that traffic. They fell just a little behind, but they're going to catch up to the tail end of the draft. Dubadek may have a little bit of trouble here. No, he's going to get the tow. That's going to be fine for him. So this guy, Brayco, Chase Greer, and then right there, it's about a 1.8 second gap to Daniel Holloway. I suspect this group of drivers right here will be able to consume that gap pretty easily. The gap that will have to be taken into consideration here as we look now, and no, actually, I take that wrong. These two groups are going to merge together. Grayson Pate, and what was a 5-car run, has now picked up another 5 cars. This will be the big pack, and this will be who's running for position here as the 7 on the outside. We're going to make a run for it there off the nose of the 92. He's going to be clear of the inside and pick up that spot. And this is the big pack now. And we'll have to see if Daniel Holloway and co can continue to run down that big pack, especially the bigger they've gotten. We've seen that gap now down to 1.4 seconds from 1.8 about 2 laps ago, so we'll continue to follow that, see if they're able to make that happen. That high line on the outside with Dubadek on the push is going to bring Eddie Morris down to the inside. Eddie Morris is going to lead some laps here at Dega for the first time tonight. Between him, Dubadek, and Will Weaver, strong top 3 presence in the points. The drag race down the backstretch. Now this field's mostly merged together here, with the exception. No, that's everybody, including Daniel Holloway and that crew. Really, the field come back together after green flag stops. Just kicking off about 9 laps ago. While we have the opportunity, let's take a look. Ambrose Neville had to come down pit road. He did have some help with Matt Bianchi. But they are they're quite a bit behind this lead group. This lead group now going off into 1. They're just coming through the tri-ovals. We see some 3 wide racing now starting to materialize. The 21 of Holloway. Take it to the high side. He's going to have some help. I believe that's Tyler Hurt with him. He's got Hurt, Splits, Holloway, and Akers. And now that bottom line led by Dubadek. Wow, big move out of the 1 car there. Guy Brayco. Guy's going to move down and pull the tow on Dubadek. Now all of a sudden that outside line not as organized as it was down the backstretch. And Guy Brayco is going to lead that lap here at Talladega. The 3rd lane up top is now going to merge down to that middle lane to join pretty much the 2nd group here. As Dubadek, he says, no, sir, I've had enough. I'm bowing out. Duvedek now down to the apron, down the backstretch, letting the field just roll by. He's not wanting to push the issue too much as he's going to merge back on track there right at the very end. Side by side they go with the 1 leading on the bottom. I believe that's Chase Greer on the outside. Yeah, it definitely is Chase there, making it work. He's gonna have some help there. And that is, I believe that's Joseph Fogg out on the outside in that cat machine. Hanging on for dear life up there. We see another driver hitting the apron. I believe that's Will Weber, the 92. He's going to hit the ejector seat, the ejection seat. He does not want to go up there and get tangled up. He's going to merge back in front of Duvedek, actually. That's actually going to slow that group down a little bit, lose a little bit of momentum. As the 1 continues to run on the bottom, leading here at Talladega. Lap number 32, coming to 33. I am surprised to not see Brayco break out on that apron, and he typically runs pretty close to Duvedek and helps that group out. But right now, leading laps here. Coming to the end of the season. Everybody's wanting an opportunity. Everybody's sniffing a checkered flag. Side by side they go. Back through 3 and 4. We'll see these drivers have to come down pit road here in just about 10 laps. As we see Duvedek now is kind of out there on the own. It looks like almost trying to pick up Akers maybe. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. But so far, after an early caution, some clean super speedway racing right here for the American Sim Racing Tour on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. I appreciate you being here. We are closing in on the conclusion of lap number 34.90. It's a playoff racing for these drivers. It has been a great run over the season with them. I can't believe a season blew by that quick, as now all of a sudden Duvedek on the hunt on the outside out of nowhere. Making a huge run. Tyler Hurd on the push. And all of a sudden that third row is going to get some help with the 21 of Holloway. Just out of nowhere, that third line materialized. Maybe this is Duvedek doing some testing for later. What kind of runs can he get when he wants to go? What do you need to go? Woo, a little bit of a wiggle there out of that outside group. We saw all 3 of them nearly make contact with the wall. And Duvedek's going to take to the bottom. Big move out of the 99. It's going to put him back to the bumper of the 1. Remember how I told you that 1 and the 99 tend to run together? Well, they found themselves once again as Rob Duvedek is going to lead that inside line through the tri-oval. Could be a drag race right there. Tyler Hurt, Chase Greer. I believe Chase Greer led that lap. Now Tyler Hurt. He's got Holloway giving him a huge shove. Hurt's now going to take that inside line, cut across the middle, and take the lead. Holloway's going to be all by himself on the high line. I don't think the 99 even got to lead a lap before it was all said and done, but nonetheless, we know he likes to have clean air on the nose. What do we see Rob do here before it's all said and done? In the meantime, they are going to be catching up to some lap traffic, something to keep in mind. Obviously, we've got a ton of space here, but you've got to navigate around that lap traffic one way or the other. How do you do that? What do you do to get around them in that? Well, there you go. The lap traffic's going to move down to the apron. One of the best things you can do as a competitor is let these guys go by, or at least not make it very difficult for them to drive around. And Tyler Hurt off the nose of the 99's got a huge shove out front here, lap number 37. With pit stops here in the next 5 laps or so, I imagine we'll see some cars try to find some partners or find their partner. Either be a teammate or somebody they've worked out some type of agreement with. Caputo, oh wow, what a move. That car just looks like it's on rails more often than not, as now we see Duvedek move outside, and Braco's going to go with him. They're going to leave Tyler Hurt all by himself on the bottom in a huge gap. This third row is going to have a bit of a run. Now Duvedek is going to move down and take that lead back on the inside. Braco's going to lead the outside. Full team control out of these drivers, with some coordination happening as they come down the backstretch. Holloway's going to move to the inside now. If you've got a hole, now's the time to do it. You know that you got your pit stops coming up here real soon. As Hurt deep buried into the bumper of the 99. Braco's still hanging out on that high side. Or high side, he's going to have Chase Greer with him. Those guys are going to have to figure out. Joseph Fogg, I believe that's the 92 of Weber as well on that outside group. You can tell this field starting to posture for pit stops as an outside line starts to get pretty clear. We usually only see a handful of drivers stay out there. As Braco now, well, there you go. There's the Joseph Fogg move down. Braco trying to get a run here. Maybe get down underneath or get in front of the 99, but it's not going to happen. I don't know if we'll see him come down this time, but it is lap number 40, so we'll see him here in the next 2 to 3 laps. With a huge push. That outside line, it's got the 92, the 1, and then, of course, Chase Greer up there as well. This is a pretty good run there for the 40 of Greer. We don't typically see him up front too often, but tonight he's got to maybe change it up a little bit of strategy. Up front he runs just on the outside of Joseph Fogg there. That's around the third place battle side by side. Now he's going to move up a little higher. Not quite sure what that move is about, but either way, we could see some drivers peel off, and we will. Tyler Hurt and a couple others all going to come down pit road. Looks like Hurt, Akers all coming down. Daniel Holloway, Sean Stevens, Ambrose Debble on pit road. Looks like Ambrose Debble's been there, actually. Either way, green flag pit stops underway once again here at Talladega. And there you have it. Guy Braco's going to move down off the nose of the 99. That's going to leave Weber and Greer on the high side as we start to see pit stops happen once again here at Talladega. Doesn't look like we're going to see anybody there in the top, really anybody in the field here come down pit road. That's okay. They still have a little bit of fuel left. A lot of these drivers, a good portion of the top 10 here, did not come down until lap number 25. So that means they are going to be able to go at least to lap 48. Maybe they try to go all the way to 50. And then they're put themselves into a 2-stop situation. Well, if they go to lap 50, that could actually, if they go all the way to lap 50, that means they maybe only have to stop one more time. Maybe that's what a lot of these drivers are trying to do. Especially if you are on these green flag runs. And those drivers that just ducked down pit road not long ago, they're not going to make it the whole way, as we see Joseph Fogg duck down. He's going to bring a couple guys with him. That's Fogg, that's Kirby Caputo, that's the 7 of Dalton Gibson. This is a pretty big pack. Grayson Pate, Carl Lingle, Hunter Smith, all ducked down pit road. And then that leaves this 5-car pack. Again, all but one of these cars came down pit road on lap number 25. They added Spencer Teal to the mix. He's actually further off the pace. So it's actually just these 5 here that are working on a little bit of strategy being played out. With the 1, the 99, the 40, and the 92. Oh, there you have it. They're not going to stay out. They're not going to make it all the way. Now, bringing them down pit road, led by Guy Braco. That's going to wrap up green flag stop. Spencer Teal all by himself. Has not come down pit road just yet. He's going to inherit the lead. Nope, he's going to come down right now. So, with that being said, the first pack of cars all going to be led by Tyler Hurt, Daniel Holloway, Sean Stevens, Chris Akers. This is going to be your leaders. As we see everybody else come off pit road. And it's going to be a pretty, well, the big pack of cars here. They were all jockeying for position. That was Weber and Greer side by side, pretty tight with Duvadak there. Unfortunately, Braco is going to be slow off pit road. And this second pack is also going to be a little slow as well. They are not going to be as up to speed as the rest of these drivers. We'll see if they'll be able to latch on to the back of the draft. Or will they drive away? As we're at the halfway point of tonight's race here at Talladega for the American Sim Racing Tour. Right here on Turn 1. Playoff racing at its finest right here, super speedway style. If you're new to the channel, appreciate you being here. If you haven't already done so, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do what you need to do to get connected to Turn 1. We appreciate the support. While we've got these pit stops kind of cycling through, let's ride on board. Let's ride on board with Tyler Hurt as they come down the backstretch here at Dega. They come across the stripe to take lap 49. Daniel Holloway, your leader. Sean Stevens, Chris Akers, Joseph Fogg, and Tyler Hurt, your top 5. And so far, outside of at lap number 3, caution-free here at Talladega so far. Still very early in this race, a long way to go. But I imagine we could see some of these drivers pushing the issue early, as we see now. It looks like Daniel Holloway is going to get trapped in the middle. Chris Akers is going to pass him on the outside. He's going to move down. That's going to leave Duvidak and Weber on the high side. Down on the bottom is that's Sean Stevens. Joseph Fogg's down there. He's also got Grayson Pate with some help. We're getting a little sporty here in the mid-pack for a couple of these drivers with 40 to go. We will have to see at least 2 more round of pit stops if this were to go green the whole way through. But it is 3 wide here at Dega. 5 cars deep. 3 by 3. Well, 3 by 5 rather. And it's some tight racing all the way across the board. Akers and Holloway, they're going to get clear of that bottom line and they're going to go together. Team Candy Shack making it happen from the middle to the bottom. The 29 is going to lead. They're going to shut Sean Stevens down. Wow, as the whole field gets scattered out there, Stevens has to bow out hard. And he tries to merge back into traffic. Everything got wild there in the middle of the pack. A lot of cars had to force the issue, and all of a sudden, the 3 wide racing is all done. And we're back to 2 by 2 here. Akers leading. Holloway. Dalton Gibson on that inside line. Tyler Hurt's got to push in the middle for Kirby Caputa. As they roll through turn number 1, Holloway's going to poke the nose out just a little bit. Last time by down the backstretch, the whole field had to, I guess, check up is a good way to put it, but really scatter out. Not a lot of room for a lot of activity there. Some of those drivers were feeling it. As we look through the field, Carl Lingle is in this pack. So is Ambrose Debel. Matt Bianchi is all by himself towards the rear. But I wanted to point out these drivers because there's Guy Braco as well, currently running 20th, all by himself. I wanted to point out some of those drivers. It's Carl Lingle, Ambrose Debel. They are mixed in with this lead pack, but a lap down. Guy Braco also a lap down. And it looks like he may have come down pit road again. Yeah, it looks like he may have had to come down pit road. Lap 45, potentially to serve a penalty out of the 1 car. That is going to be an unfortunate end to Guy Braco's competitive night. Short of we seeing some cautions come his way to help him out. In the meantime, out front, Daniel Holloway was able to get a push off the nose of Tyler Hurt and move off down to the bottom and become the tow car for the 29. And those two get connected through the tri-oval. When you have the 21 or the 29 or vice versa, any type of combination of those two numbers together, you might as well shut down the outside line. And you're starting to see that right here. And they're already got 4 cars on the inside clear. The outside's all but 4 cars left, and they're on a tow. These two drivers, they are teammates. Just full tilt pull down the backstretch. And that outside line led by Hurt is just not there right now. As you see, again, the 29 just latched to the bumper of the 21. He's going to break Dalton Gibson with him in the 7. They're going to get connected, but that just shows you the power of the right combination of drivers. The push and the lead and getting all the right pieces of the puzzle together could be really something to contend with, especially at a great equalizer of the super speedway. Creeping up on about 14, 15 laps here since the last time some of these drivers were down pit road, lap 41. We should see everybody duck down around lap 60 to 63. And then we'll have to see at least one more pit stop cycle out of this field before it's all said and done. 2 weeks ago at Talladega, we saw these drivers really mix it up from a strategy standpoint. And we had 3 groups, but ultimately the leader had help from a lap down car to win the race. Tonight, though, at least right now, a good portion of the field here, about 14, 15 cars are together as we're past the halfway point of tonight's event here at Talladega for the American Sim Racing Tour. Akers ducked out of that bottom line back around turn 1. Last lap now. Has picked up the Tyler Hurt machine on that outside line. I imagine this is so the 29 can get up front there, but he doesn't quite have the push. Holloway has the 7 of Dalton Gibson. He's not only has he got his foot through the floor in that 7 car, but he's got his head tilted down, got the visor down. He is getting everything he can from an aero perspective, and that is keeping the 29 from getting that big run on that outside. Side by side they go. Down the backstretch here at Talladega. And these drivers here tried to jockey back around. We've seen a lot of folks have to pick up teammates and make room for teammates and get ready for pit strategy and things like that as they come across the stripe. That's lap number 59. As we were talking about 5 laps ago, they're going to have 4 laps ago. They're going to have to come down pit road here. And the next 2 or 3, some of these drivers last down on 41. And for the most part, we've seen a 20-lap endurance out of these Xfinity machines here at Talladega. We'll start to see that outside line thin out just a little bit, led by Chris Akers. Like I mentioned earlier, I believe he had the intention to get out there. Ooh, Tyler Hurt's going to move way out. He's going to go to the rear. I believe Akers had the intent to maybe get up there and then leverage Hurt to get out in front of the 21, but it never materialized. Akers kind of stuck out there in the run as Hurt is now going to duck to the inside. Now you're starting to see that outside line start to skinny up just a little bit. Only 5 cars out there. That's a good indication that pit stops are coming for this field here, all being led by the 21, the 7. This is going to be critical. Pit stops this late in the race are just very important And there you see Holloway is going to bring the 7 down. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, that was the 29 of Akers. I'm pretty sure that driver had all 4 locked up trying to come to a stop. We'll see if that's going to result in a speeding penalty. So 4 of the top drivers coming down pit road on lap number 61. No matter what, unless you can hold out all the way to lap 70, everybody's going to have to stop one more time. And from what I've seen tonight, even the drivers that were in a position to potentially run out that last sequence and stay out a little bit longer chose not to. As we're going to see one driver come down pit road here only. The rest are going to stay out, but we saw maybe some strategy at play that could potentially lead to a one more stop race, but right now I do not believe anybody in this pack has the endurance to go all the way to lap 70 so they don't have to stop anymore. So we should see at least another splash and go down pit road out of the majority of this field. All of a sudden now, Rob Duvedek. He's out front. That's Carl Lingle on the toe for him. Pulling that inside line around here. And Duvedek's going to move up, pick up the 92. There's Eddie Morris out there with this pack as well. As Grayson Pate, Kirby Caputa's out there on this one. Joseph Fogg is with this pack as we see Duvedek and Weber. Weber now is going to take the lead on the bottom. I think Duvedek meant to get clear but got a little loose and isn't going to be able to shut the door there on that inside line. Last time by, Hunter Smith, Ethan Horst electing to come down pit road. Lap number 63 here. We still have 8 drivers who have not come down just yet. Who are trying to maybe potentially go as far as they possibly can here. We're going to see one peel off. A couple others there. It's not just one. It looks like we're going to see Dalton Gibson, Grayson Pate, Joseph Fogg, Kirby Caputa come down pit road. Green flag stops happening once again here at Talladega. And that leaves the 4 drivers of Rob Duvedek, Eddie Morris, Will Weber, and Chase Greer out on track who have not come down pit road yet. Last on pit road, lap 44. So this is their lap to come down right here to keep it right at the nose of 20. Do they try to extend this 2 laps? Maybe 3, and then pull off some of the best fuel mileage racing out there? No, they're not going to do it. They're going to come down pit road. Everybody on the binders. Duvedek sends it in there hard. And the lead group there right now is going to be led by Gibson, Grayson Pate, Joseph Fogg, Kirby Caputa. Chris Akers, I believe, is going to be on the move. Yep, he is leading that pack. That's going to catch up with this group here in just a second, up to speed by another lap. That's Akers, Stevens, Hertz, and Holloway. And they're going to catch up and work by the pack that just came off pit road. So, one more pit stop. A splash to get all the way to the end of this thing here tonight. It's going to be in the books unless we see a caution. Now's the time to start thinking about it. When do you come down? Do you do it early and bring the right people with you? This is all that we want to talk about, team politics and finding a pack of drivers and finding the right people to come with you to ensure you're there in the draft. Well, team politicking is right now, actually, by the way, as they're working through basically 3 groups all merging together here and picking up the draft. Akers is going to lead them. But now's the time you got to start thinking about some of these team orders. When do you come down? What do you organize? And who do you pull together to come down with you on this critical last pit stop? It's going to be quick. You've got to have a flawless entry into pit road. No penalties. You got to hit your box just right. You got to make sure you got the fuel selected. You're only going to take a splash. You need enough just to get to the very end. Maybe 3 gallons. It's going to be a critical stop upcoming for a lot of these drivers. And deciding who you're going to go with and who you won't. And that'll be just as important. Especially for some of these team allegiances. Something we're going to have to look forward to here. As the laps continue to wind down at Talladega. We're playoff racing, super speedway style. The American Sim Racing Tour right here on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. I appreciate you being here. We've been green flag since lap number 5. Had an early caution, but since then, it has been fast and exciting racing all over the racetrack here tonight at Talladega. And it's shaping up to be a really, really good finish. One thing I want to call out is that, again, the 21 and the 29, they're right there running first and third in a single file line. If you're the rest of this field, if you're the Eddie Morrises, if you're the Rob Duvideks, you're those guys, Dalton Gibson, really anybody that's not Team Candy Shack, you've really got to really think about this. You want to break those two up, because I tell you what, if they get together, it's going to be trouble for the rest of this group. And they've got, one of their teammates, I just confirmed it. I wasn't sure with Tyler Hurt, but no. He is, in fact, it's a 1, 2, 3 Team Candy Shack front row, or the top 3. You've got to figure out you've got to figure out a way to separate some of these drivers in that group, and what I would consider one of the powerhouses of this league. With that being said, Rob Duvidek, Eddie Morris, Will Weber, those guys, Shooter McGavin, they need a strong finish here to the end as well. They're leading the points 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Right now, Weber, tail end of this field, currently running 12th. And he would love to be at the very front of this thing once it's all said and done. But nonetheless, the 29 is going to lead this group around single file around Talladega with 22 to go. We should see stops here in the next 10 laps. I doubt we see those stops within 10 to go, so I imagine they're going to get them done early. We're going to step aside so we can bring you non-stop coverage all the way to the end of this thing. Coming down to the final laps at Talladega, you're watching Turn 1. as they come through this long tri-oval. Unlike Daytona and many other tracks, the start-finish line down here past the exit of turn, or pit road rather, here at Talladega. Chris Akers is going to lead that inside line. Tyler Hurt is going to lead Tyler Hurt's sitting P2 in that inside group. Daniel Holloway P3. That outside line, it's led by 2 lap down cars before Eddie Morris. Third back. We'll see if that plays a factor here. They got caught up and were able to hold on to the draft. So those are not for position. That's Guy Bracco and Spencer Teal on the high side. But nonetheless, maybe that may be the cushion this Caddyshack team needs to be able to bring home and secure that bottom line. But I can't imagine that's not under consideration there. Ooh, he's gonna run him tight down to the bottom. As Bracco, I don't know if he just got a little loose and didn't want to overcorrect, but he brought Spencer Teal with him. Either way, again, what we were talking about right before we stepped aside, we're going to see pit stops one more time here at Talladega. And if it's anything like it's been, it's going to be under the green flag condition. You've got to pick your partner. Who's going to go with you? Who is electing to who's going to come with you? Who's the partner? Who is the person that you trust? Who's going to be able to execute a clean pit road entry? Who's going to be able to hit the box just right? Who ultimately is going to be able to execute when it matters most here? I do believe this is the last race at Talladega for this playoff group. So if you've got a preference, or if you feel like you've got a little magic at Talladega, well, now's the time to start shaking that bottle and getting your wishes granted. Because at this point, it's edging on go time. They're coming around to the front stretch. And they'll hit the stripe. 15 laps remaining. Some clean racing through and through. It's been competitive, but nonetheless, clean racing is 1, 2, 3. Team Caddyshack on the bottom, dominating. And like I talked about earlier in the broadcast, there was quite a bit of team angst, a little bit of drama. Well, we won't call it a little bit. It was quite a bit of drama with this group throughout the week. A lot of displeasure with some things maybe being said, as well as just some accusations across the board. And right now, the 29 with the 21 and the 16 are all going to come down pit road. But I was going to say, they're letting their actions speak for themselves because they're leading. And they all come down pit road. Final stops for the leaders underway here at Dega with 14 to go. That was about as well executed as it possibly could be for Akers, Hurt, Dalton Gibson, Sean Stevens, and Daniel Holloway. Do they get off pit road the same way they hit the box after the long run down pit road? We'll continue to follow that. They're going to come off pit road here in just a moment. In the meantime, Eddie Morris, Duvenet, Grayson Payne, Will Weber. 1, 2, 3, but again, mixed up with a little bit of lap traffic in this group, but that shouldn't matter. See who comes down pit road next here. We've seen these individuals run a little bit further, run a little bit later through the green flag run, so this is not to be unexpected. Let's take a look here from the lead perspective, and they are perfect. In and out. That is how you needed to execute. You wanted this to work out, and it's going to. It's Daniel Holloway, Sean Stevens. They have picked up Ethan Horst, and then it looks like, where is Chris Akers at? Where? Where's Mr. Akers? Oh, he's leading this pack, but he's not in scoring. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he is. Okay. Yeah, Akers hurt. Dalton Gibson, Daniel Holloway, Sean Stevens. This is the dream team. In and out off pit road. The rest of the field wanted to see them make a mistake. Guess what? It did not happen. Those pit stops happening quick for this group of drivers. Most of them only spending roughly 7 seconds in the box. Now, the rest of this field led by Eddie Morris. When do they come down pit road? Do you wait as far as you can into the run? Hope for a caution to come out. Maybe an incident on track gets everybody back together. Or do you come down right now? Don't let them get too far into this run and give you very little time to get caught back up. They're going to stay out another lap. They're going to come through the tri-oval. This will be the 11 to go right here at Talladega. As I mentioned, this is a risky run. You can run this out a little bit. These drivers, again, have not been down pit road since lap 64. So, in theory, goodness, what? They could run... This is 79. They can run probably another 5 laps, maybe 6, depending on what they've been saving from a fuel perspective. And maybe you hope for a caution. Maybe that's what you're waiting on. But you run the risk of only having 6, 7 laps at most to get caught back up and maybe maybe you don't execute as well. You can't afford to slip up here for some of these drivers. And you've got to leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room, but we'll see how this all plays out. In the meantime, that other group that came down, led by Chris Akers, they're all single file. This is a powerhouse group led by the 29, the 16, the 7, the 21, the 27's in there with them as well. Ethan Horst is there. And it looks like Hunter Smith, yep, Hunter Smith is on the lead lap. So that will round out that group. This will be the lead pack that they will have to contend with once this group of Ethan Horst, Chase Greer, Rob Duvidak, Kirby Kabuta, and a couple others come down pit road for. Another lap, they're going to stay out as they come through the tri-oval. 9 laps remaining here at Talladega for the American Sim Racing Tour on turn 1. That outside line gets a pretty strong run here. We'll see what this group elects to do as they roll out of 4. Do we see pit stops come this time? Or they're going to stay out another lap? They're going to stay out another lap. As we were talking about fuel strategy, nobody has enough to make it all the way to the very end here. That would require these drivers going 26 laps, and we have not seen that happen at all tonight or any other night here at Talladega without some extensive drafting and fuel strategy and fuel savings being done, but this group is not doing that. As a matter of fact, I think we just saw Kirby Kabuta move down to the inside lane. I would not be surprised to see this entire line come down pit road here next time by. Yep, they're going to scatter out. We're going to see at least a portion of this group hit pit road here in the next lap or so. One car coming down. I don't know who that was breaking out there. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Spencer Teal, Carl Lingle, Guy Braco. They're all down pit road. That's going to clean up this pack even more. Let's take a look here at this second group. All being led here by the 29. As they roll off in the middle of 3 and 4, Eddie Morris and co. down the backstretch. This group now widely split out. I don't know what that strategy is, but that's going to slow them down a little bit. Here they come to pit road. Everybody fanned out. Everybody kind of off the pace a little bit. No, everybody. Maybe that's a little conservative approach, just to be smart, make sure everybody gets down pit road. But ultimately, that's going to slow them up just a little bit. They're going to lose time to this pack. Here comes Chris Akers. Down into 3. Transitioning into 4. They're going to have some lap traffic. They're going to get a little bit of a tow here, as those cars now are just rolling off pit road. Equal stop time for that other group, but I think they're going to have some trouble. Duvedek, oh, they're wide spread out. This is not going to be good. Here comes Akers around some lap traffic. This is going to be the race right here, and I think it's all but done. This pack is going to be well up to speed. I don't think these drivers coming off pit road are going to be there in enough time. And they're going to lose that draft. Chris Akers now up to the front. 6 laps remaining here at Dega. Five to go. Akers with the 7 car has the rest of the Candy Shack team split. But now's the time to start gathering those runs. By the way, Duvedek, they didn't fall off as hard as I thought they would. They've got nose to tail, those 4 cars, and they're on a tear. They're going to get caught up with this lead pack. But now you've got to jockey your way up there. And as soon as somebody makes that middle line go, and Duvedek's going to do it, that's going to introduce everybody to that second line. The 29. Going to lead them through the tri-oval. Come across the stripe. 4 to go for the American Sim Racing Tour. Who was that? That was Tyler Hurt trying to check that line up. Duvedek and Weber are going to just drive by him. Now the inside line's going to lose some momentum, and Duvedek's got a head of steam behind him. Sean Stevens is going to poke his nose out that outside line. All of a sudden, Duvedek was in trouble, but now on his way to the front. The inside line starting to come apart. Holloway is going to move down, or move to the outside and pick up, or sorry, that's Stevens, rather. Where is Holloway? There he is. Down there, now he's back behind the 29. It's a 3 wide run across the checkered flag. I'm sorry, the stripe there with 3 to go. Checkered flag, 3 away. 4 wide here at Dega. Duvedek on the high side. No help. Akers and Holloway. They've got their teammate of Hurt right behind him on that inside line. The outside of Gibson. He's got some help. I believe that's Sean Stevens. Will Weber out there. The 7 car dove to the inside a little bit. Nowhere to go. Well, that's going to shake up that inside group. Weber's now going to go to the third lane. 2 to go here at Talladega. Weber is going to pick up some help. That's Greer out there as that third line started to materialize. Oh, Akers had to check up. That's going to scatter him out, and that's going to bring out the caution. Everybody had to check up. That started with the 29 getting loose. And everybody had to figure out where to go. Well, we're going to NASCAR overtime. Ran over 80 laps, green flag, and coming down the backstretch with 2 to go. Caution comes out here at Talladega. Chris Akers, Tyler Hurt, Rob Duvidak, Sean Stevens, Daniel Holloway, your top 5. ISHO involved in that incident was Eddie Morris, Brianna Laurent, and Dalton Gibson. But I'm sure there's going to be others with some damage. Either way, under caution here only for the second time as they get slowed up behind the pace truck. We're going to step aside and get ready to bring you some NASCAR overtime and a playoff race at Talladega. You're watching Turn 1. It all comes down to this here at Talladega. All of the effort, all the green flag runs, the partnerships, the pit stops, and the racing, all out the window for a last or second to last lap caution. And the whole field, minus Tyler Hurt, comes down and tops off. We talked about it with 10 to go, how everything was out the window and it was on now. Well, guess what? Really, no allegiances, no partnerships. As the pace truck's gonna head down pit road, it's Joseph Fogg, Tyler Hurt up front, Ethan Horst, Grayson Pate, Sean Stevens, your top 5. And it is going to be anybody's race right here. This is what Super Speedway Racing is all about. 14 cars on the lead lap. And any one of them could win this race. Green flag back out. 2 to go at Talladega. Horst out with a 2-car jump on the inside. Joseph Fogg's going to have Grayson Pate on the shove on the outside. Sean Stevens is going to be there as well. Oh, Caputo's going to lose it all by himself on the inside. Nobody involved. I don't think the cautions are going to come out for that. And here comes Team Shooter McGavin Racing on the outside, getting it together. Coming to the white flag one more time around. It's 3 wide racing action here as they roll off into 1. Anybody's race. Dumadek on the high line. He's got Weber with him. The middle's got Grayson Pate, Sean Stevens together. On that bottom line, it's Joseph Fogg and Tyler Hurt. Really, the only folks that have their teammates together is going to be that outside line. We'll see if the 99 can pull it off. They're going to make contact. Weaver's going to make contact as well. That's going to check up the outside. Grayson Pate is going to lead him down to the tri-oval. Nobody's going to be able to contest him. Grayson Pate is going to be your winner at Talladega. Looks like Grayson Pate, Joseph Fogg, and Tyler Hurt look to be your final top 3 after it's all said and done. And what a race to bring it home to the end here at Talladega. We're going to step aside just a moment. We'll bring you some post-race coverage. The 10 car of Grayson Pate, your winner. You're watching Turn 1. Another race in the books here for the American Sim Racing Tour. Right here on turn one, we're going to talk to our race winner, Grayson Payton. Grayson, what a wild finish, qualifying the top 10, up and down night, ultimately there where it mattered most. Talk to us about what you felt, or how you felt coming to 10 to go there.
Well, I thought I kind of screwed myself over with the pit stop. I ran out of fuel getting on the pit road and lost the pack, but then the caution kind of let me get grouped back up, and I pushed Joe out into the lead and was honestly content riding in the middle lane, but then I got pushed way far out front, so I just tried to get in front of the faster lane and control it from there.
Grayson, we obviously, it was a wild night in terms of green flag run there and a lot of strategy. You as you mentioned, you got off pace there, out of the pack, but talk to me about what it takes to hit these pit stops just right, especially during these long green flag runs.
Man, it's hard getting, honestly, the hard part's just getting on. If you can get on pit road, it's pretty easy from there, but getting onto them, you can lock the tires up so easily in these cars and just completely screw yourself over and end up in the infield. So it was just trying to get onto pit road and not lock the tires and not go too slow to where you lose the pack.
Hey, Grayson, again, congratulations on a strong run there right at the very end when it mattered most. Able to bring home the victory here tonight at Talladega. Again, congratulations. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
Thanks, sir.
With that, Grayson Payton going to bring home the victory here tonight at Talladega. We'll talk to Tyler Hurt and the part of the Candy Shack group we spoke so much of here tonight. Tyler, congratulations in the top 3, but obviously not the night or not the finish you were looking to have here. Talk to me about kind of coming down to the end of that there and working together as a team here through the long green flag run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too upset about this because unlike last season and the season before that, I haven't had a podium yet this year. So this is, honestly, I like this finish, even though I didn't win. But yeah, Holloway, I know, was lined up behind Ethan. We were trying to push Ethan, but he just couldn't get to me. It was just shove fog once he got in front. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all it is.
Tyler, we were talking about tonight, you three especially being together was what was going to be something this field had to contend with. What happened to the 29 there at the very end that potentially kind of broke that group apart there at the last run?
Yeah, so on the last green flag run before the last caution, he was just running low on fuel. He didn't put as much as being Holloway put in. But after that, something happened where his iRacing, I guess, crashed.
Oh, goodness, okay.
Dropped out of the race.
Well, either way, able to capitalize regardless of teammate experience, teammates' struggles, bringing home a top 3. Tyler Hurt here tonight at Talladega. Tyler, congratulations on being able to pick up a podium here before it was all said and done.
Yeah.
With that, we'll wrap up race coverage tonight here at Talladega. And I believe we wanted to talk to Joseph Fox. Joseph, if you're around, we would love to talk to you in the broadcast really quick. Otherwise, tonight was the last night, I believe, at Talladega. Let's take a look at the schedule very quickly. We will next week move on over back to Daytona and the next gen car. And then the final race of the season is slated for 516, but I don't know exactly where that's going. I'm sorry, 518. I'm not sure where that's going to be. It's the champ pick. And a team pick. So we'll see what that works out to be. But nonetheless, another exciting super speedway race in the books here at Talladega on turn 1 for the American Sim Racing Tour. We're going to go ahead and there call it a night. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Tell you what, this group has been a blast to cover each and every race. And we will we'll continue to do so as long as we possibly can. On behalf of the league admins, I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next Monday night for one more time around at Daytona right here on Turn 1. Good night, everybody.